Drop day number 5, numero 5, 5 new beers for you to enjoy, 5 opportunities to spice up your life. I don't know why I'm vibing with the Spice Girls right now, but you should be vibing with these 5 new beers. Friday, March 1st, come on down. We are going to be releasing MK Ultra Hazy IPA, Prelude, brand new West Coast IPA, Dreamland Spaceport Hazy Double IPA. We are going to have Matinee Idol Lager, and we're going to have Clocked Out, bottle conditioned, in bottles. Everyone knows I love bubbles. It's sick. Come on down. What have you been drinking lately? What beers are in your fridge right now? Is it something you've never tried before, or is it a beer that you've had a million times in the past? Before I explain to you why I'm at the gym right now, I'd like to finish this beer mood ring check-in. The beers that we have in the fridge say a ton about where we're at socially and emotionally, and I'm going to try not to say the word vibes like 200 times in this video, but it says a lot about the vibes. Lots of new beer vibes are beer itself is the source of the entertainment. We're having fun going to breweries and bottle shops. Don't mind risking a little bit of cash on a beer we've never had before because maybe this is the best one you've ever had. Lots of reliable beer vibes say that beer's not the main thing right now, even if it's something that I like. Maybe I gotta focus on my job or on my kids, or my other hobbies are giving me all the fun new experiences that I need, and beer's just a complement to all the cool other stuff that I'm doing. Lots of different beers has been a huge part of Henhouse's gig over the past decade, and so it seems worthwhile to figure out why we're drawn to drinking lots of different beers, why we're drawn to making lots of different beers. That's what you got me for. That's why I'm here. As we all know, LSD quiets the mind and puts the user in a highly suggestible trance. This is how psychedelic drugs work. That's what Allen Dulles, director of the CIA, thought in 1953 when he launched MK Ultra, the government's acid-fueled mind control program. Soon, G-men who had never sniffed a jazz cigarette in their life were squirting each other with full syringes of mil-spec brain gravy. What could possibly go wrong? What did go wrong? Who knows? Allen Dulles got the axe, the records were all burned, and the program was shut down. It was shut down, right? I don't have answers, I'm just asking the chicken. This Conspiracy IPA is absolutely a team favorite, with Chinook, Amarillo, and Simcoe hops in there. Tastes like weed, candied orange, and just a hint of lavender. Everyone who works with me knows I love me a weightlifting metaphor. Everything in life is better explained through the art and science of picking up heavy things. If you think I'm joking, just ask anybody who works here. I mean, Henhouse. Also, look at me. I'm at the gym right now. I'm into it. Now you're into it. Oddly, picking up heavy things is not actually the way you get better at picking up heavy things. Powerlifting is my jam, so it's squat, bench, and deadlift. And while doing the big 3 will make you stronger, the way that you actually progress is by doing those and making sure you're focusing on isolation movements that help you develop those weak points and lagging muscles. So instead of benching more, you add tricep extensions. Instead of just squatting more, you add leg press. Instead of just deadlifting more, you do reverse hypers. You focus on the smaller components that make the bigger lift stronger. At this point, I hope that this metaphor is painfully obvious. When you're making a beer, incredible por ejemplo, you don't make it better just by spamming repetitions, make it a million times. You figure out what you think could be better about it, isolate that variable, and then make a different beer or several different beers experimenting on that variable and see what the improvements are. You focus on a soft spot, identify the improvement, and then bring that knowledge back to the main beer. The prelude is when everyone draws in, when the focus becomes clear, priming us for our own intense reaction, leading to our emotional core. The prelude is designed around the experience we are meant to have. A cynic might say that the response is manufactured, but the cynical are always lost. The found are those giving themselves over to the power of the performance and letting the piece wash over them in an awesome wave. Let the flavors of this classic West Coast IPA wash over you and prime your tongue for the operatic intensity of flavor coming your way. A classically trained repertoire of Cascade, Chinook, Centennial, and Simcoe bring you to a grove of pine that is oddly populated by all manner of citrus: grapefruit, lemon, orange. Thunderous applause. We make a million beers every year, not because we're bored with the beers that we make year-round, but because we love Incredible, Stoked, and Best Life so much that we would never change them without knowing exactly what we are doing to improve those recipes. Every other beer that we make, all the conspiracy beers, all the big mouth beers, all the juice wizards, the lagers, the saisons, all the sour beers, all of that is opportunities for us to experiment with processes and ingredients and timing and a grip of other variables that we can isolate, so that when we're improving our beers that we make every single day of the year, we do it with the confidence of already having done those things. Let's go one step further. Every beer that you drink is experimenting with flavors that you might like, learning about new things you may not be aware of, but also refining the stuff that you do like and your ability to articulate it. Every single beer that you drink is you getting closer to the best and most full appreciation of your favorite beer. We're all working on strengthening our appreciation of the flavors we like all of the time. And every single beer you've ever had is a rep towards improving your overall ability to get fucking stoked about how beer tastes. All of this is 100% earnest. I am incapable of irony. What is the Dreamland Spaceport? As we all know, there's a mailbox in the middle of the Nevada desert next to a non-existent airstrip. And the unknown. It's Area 51. We've all heard the stories: Soviet jets with American pilots, super secret stealth planes, wreckage of weather balloons, Lazar taking Janet jets to a UFO garage. All of that stuff is there, and then there's the really secret stuff. The monorail to DIA, DC, and Monterey, Hughes' interstellar model. All those things are there. The powers that be would prefer that we forgot about that base, but we just can't seem to, can we? It grows in the cultural imagination, in our minds. Think about it. Think about Citra, Idaho 7, and Hallertau Blanc. Think about a fruit salad bowl, the slush at the bottom. I'm talking overripe mango, cantaloupe, a little bit of pineapple, maybe apricot and Sunny D. Delicious. But the main thing's the main thing, right? Like, doing lifts that are not the lift you're trying to get better at that lift kind of doesn't make any sense, no? No. I mean, yes. Specificity is part of any training program. You have to do the specific lift you want to get stronger if you indeed want it to get stronger. In preparing for a powerlifting meet, lots of folks will start pulling accessory and supplemental work out of their training program and make the core lifts a bigger and bigger part of their training. The excess stress from isolation movements doesn't really help you in the focus times. You gotta buckle down, make sure the main thing's the main thing. It's probably a bummer for me to bring up, but there are two gnarly global conflicts going on, and the inflationary wildness that was the last 2 years is still working its way through the economy, and it's an election year. The vibes are, at best, mid. It may be weird for me, your internet beer friend, to say this, but beer's not the main thing right now for most folks. Feeling like we're getting to a place of certainty and stability as a culture is the main thing. Feeling like our friends and family are taken care of is the main thing. I've got great news. Beer is a fantastic way to connect with your friends and family. I did a whole video about it. I was wearing a Santa costume. Do you remember? In all seriousness, when we're in this kind of cultural bummer mood, we want beers that don't add the decision fatigue of picking something new. We want beers that are fresh, reliable, and delicious that we can drink while we're checking in on the people who matter most to us. It's not that new and different beers are not relevant to our interests. It's that we need to reduce the amount of effort we're putting into trying new things while we hunker down and focus on the main thing, which is getting through these living in a society is stressful meat preparation competition vibes. Collin here with some very obvious reshoots about Matinee Idol. We are so stoked about this Magical Maze Marvel. We could not possibly crush any harder on this crushable can. but we'll try. Bubbly, bright, and oh so golden, Matinee Idol is ready for its close-up. We start with a super classic Vienna lager construction, Pilsner malt, Vienna malt, a little bit of maize in there, add a dash of sea salt, and then Motueka hops. So what you're getting is that light, dry, classic Mexican lager with a little bit of lime juice hint from the Motueka, and a little bit of saltiness that brings out that corn flavor. Incredibly delicious, unspeakably delicious. Come have some. We're excited for you to try it. So these are the training cycles we go through. You've got a strength progression phase, and then you've got a specificity phase built around the competition. The iron law of everything is a weightlifting metaphor dictates that we too must occasionally go through phases of wandering off to a new beer every single time we go to the store, and phases where we hone in on the beers that we know we like when it's time to focus. Are you feeling like the metaphor is getting stretched a little bit thin? Yeah, me too. What can I say? I'm an enthusiast. I have two hobbies, and they are beer and powerlifting. At any given time, I am talking about those two things, thinking about those two things, drinking or lifting. One of the things that's always been the most fun about making beer is that it's really pretty simple to make. You grind up some barley, stew it up with some hot water, strain it, boil it, add a shit ton of hops, let yeast do its thing, add a shit ton more hops, keep it cold, and drink it. It's really not very complicated. The first 95% is super simple, but that last 5% is an infinite rabbit hole of tweaking and science and joy and frustration and more tweaking that allows you to get to something really beautiful. Lifting is the same. It can be as simple as getting your heart rate up twice a week and keeping your lower back strong so that you'll be healthy into your 90s, or you can fully lose yourself into how do I maximize this meat prison that my consciousness is tethered to generate force through hypertrophy and efficient leverages. Both ways of approaching a hobby are valid, and I think that they need each other. Like, John Hack and Christy Hawkins can't keep a gym open between the two of them, so they need casual gym goers to pay for the gym to exist. And the casual gym goer needs John Hack and Christy Hawkins to be insanely strong so that they can take motivation from those real outliers of strength. With beer, there's also two modes of engagement. There's beer as the vibe improvement tool for social occasions, and beer as the ongoing search for the next new flavor that's going to blow your olfactory bulb out the back of your skull. No one gets to make Dark Lord if they don't make Zombie Dust. No one gets to make Utopias if they don't make Twisted Tea. We don't get to make Big Chicken if we don't make Incredible. The beer industry runs on affordable IPAs and lagers, and they need to be there all of the time so that we can spend some time chasing after that last 1% of hop perfection for some new double IPA that really just sets it off. Driving for hours to go wait in line for the newest release is not for everyone, but it is part of what keeps the beer industry fun. And I don't mind taking it to this logical extreme. Miller High Life tastes better because Pliny the Younger is a fucking blast every year. Every time people make a ton of noise about going and getting the newest, hypest cans from the newest, hypest brewery, that makes all beer taste better. We all benefit from enthusiasts. Nerds make the world go round. Clocked Out is our riff on a classic Belgian wit beer. We brew ours with a healthy base of wheat and then a little bit of coriander and grains of paradise for an aromatic zip, which is delicious. This batch is bottle conditioned, which we all know that I'm in love with, and gives this batch a fluffy, peppery, lemony-ness and bubbles. Lots of bubbles. Pour in, check out, watch the clouds go by. I said earlier that I am incapable of irony, and I meant it. I started saying bro ironically when I was like 22, and now I just say it to everybody all of the time, including my parents. The 1995 cinematic juggernaut Hackers is my favorite movie, and I've seen it more than 100 times. To me, Mariah's All I Want for Christmas Is You is a certified banger, and the holidays are made better every single time that song is played. My nature is to find the things that I love and to dive into them as completely and deeply as possible. I want to find the things that I love and just be genuinely excited about them all of the time and share them with other people. I want to be excited about what you're excited about. There are only so many hours in the day, and I want to spend as many of them as possible being stoked about something. If you've watched this far, I imagine that you are a beer enthusiast. Or you're my Aunt Cynthia. Cynthia, if you're watching, you're awesome. Thank you. But maybe you're not a beer enthusiast. Maybe you like golf. If so, fuck yeah, man, that's awesome. Enjoy Stoked out on the links for me. We all go through these cycles of finding a hobby, finding something that we're really, really excited about. We get super, super deep into it. And then we put that hobby on the back burner for a little while we focus on other bigger things in life. And then we come back to it when it's time. This is a good cycle. This is healthy. We have 5 new beers coming out Friday, March 1st. Very excited about that fact. If you are in a place in life where beer is a fun, exciting new thing for you, you want to come try new beers, this is your jam, get like us, come have a beer. If you're in a place in life where you're trying to connect with friends and family, bring them too. Come have a beer anyway. Get like us. Get stoked.